4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, so welcome to Level Up TV with me, Disrepute, and Vor. ClanBase EuroCup 26. This is the grand final right before Christmas and the New Year. Perfect time for it, Vor. End of the worlds tomorrow. Sitto versus 102. You excited?
Definitely. End of the world. We've got to decide who's the best Quake Live TDM team before the world ends, so let's go for it.
They will reign supreme into the
In the
underworld.
afterlife.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the lineups then. Pavel, Ikeds, Immortal, and Fortune for 102 at the moment. I was asked to display their pings. They're playing on a Ukraine server on this one. 70, 78, 25, and 32. A bit of a mixed range there. I think more the mid range for the Sitto team. We've got Krista, DDK, Zyrinx, Q50 sitting in spec, but it might be Dimitri joining up. And it's going to be dreadful place the first map. This is 102's map pick. We have seen some of the most impressive performances of the cup on this map by Dillermurder. I think this is a wise choice for them.
Yeah, it is. They are clearly picking their strengths, and this is certainly their strongest map. And the only thing that concerns me for them is Pavel, perhaps. His ping is not quite as low as it was in the semi-final, but they've got Immortal and 421 on very low pings, in fact, so maybe that won't be too much of a problem for their team.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of pings we're looking at, say, Chris has got 40 odd. That's, you know, really quite playable for him. He'll play a lot of games at that kind of ping range, probably. 50 odd for DDK, Zyrinx, 56. I mean, it's not unplayable pings, so they're not too hard done by this server selection. 102, as you say, higher pings for Ikeds and Pavel, but they're used to.
Pavel's not really higher than he's used to. It's just it's not as low as it was in the semi, and in the semi he put in an incredible performance. So we won't quite see as good from him, but maybe I certainly hope we will.
True potential could be nullified slightly then.
Nullified, yeah.
Nullified. Yeah, so Dimitri is going to be the fourth player for Sitto. We'll check the pings again. I know it is an important factor. We didn't explain it fully, maybe the latency between the players and the server, and obviously the higher the value means the longer time it takes for that information to travel to the server, so you can get a more delayed game. Feel a bit laggy, doesn't feel as good.
Not quite as responsive.
Yeah, so it does have some effect, especially at this high level when, you know, players can feel the difference between a few milliseconds. They really can. They're so attuned to the game, but they're all experienced players. Chris, a former EuroCup champion himself, as we switch to Immortal there in this warm-up. Of course, last season's champions, Deliberate Murder, looking to retain their title in a rematch of last season against Sitto, the challengers again. Sitto going through that group stages and their semi-final, haven't even dropped a map yet. Could this be the first map they drop?
Well, they are the Invincibles so far this season, but to keep that streak going is going to be a real tough order.
It's irrelevant if they now lose. It'll mean nothing for. That's as far as I'm saying. Victory is everything. We had, what, 12 teams, was it? 2 groups of 6 starting off this stage, and it's now down to 2. And really, who cares about the other teams?
No, exactly. We have the 2 best teams here, Nothing else that happened before tonight matters.
Nothing at all. There's loads of VODs up. They're on our YouTube, /LevelUpTV.
But they don't matter.
They don't matter. Don't waste time watching them. That would be ridiculous. Who cares how great the games were? They all lost. Apart from obviously the Sitto and the 1 or 2 games.
But they were all great games.
They were.
So if you do fancy watching them, you probably should.
Yeah, you actually, I'm going to backtrack there and say, yeah, you should go and watch them after this. Probably spend the next few days. You got time off, it's Christmas. Why not watch a few VODs?
Got a lot of travelling to do over the holiday season, so you need something to watch on your travels.
Yeah, and you've got a good mobile internet. You could
plenty of bandwidth to spare.
Pre-buffer every single VOD throughout the season. We covered every single map that was played. I believe there was a couple of defaulted maps, but apart from that, it should be a full selection of group stages, quarterfinals and semi-finals. So it's worth a watch. Anyway, Still waiting on Dimitri to join up. We're looking at the two teams there. Krista, DDK, Zyrinx, and Dimitri's going to be the Sitto lineup. 3 players playing from Italy, although DDK is technically a Brit. And Krista, their new recruit. At the semi-final stage, they got him. World-renowned TDM player. Who's going to be their key member there, Vor, on that team?
On Sitto's team?
Yep.
I still think Zyrinx is the key man. I mean, I know Chris is a huge name. He's one of the absolute best players in Quake Live TDM. But still, for me and this team, Zyrinx is the man. He'll be the one that their hopes are pinned upon.
And for 102, Pavel, Ikeds, Immortal, and Fortune. That's 4-2-1.
Well, if you look at roles within the team, Pavel and Immortal are the ones that are the match winners. They're ably supported by Ikeds and Fortune, 4-2-1. But those are the 2 match winners, and you know, everything good for Deliberate Murder in this final will pretty much come from them.
Tactical play on this map for Dreadful Place. I mean, it's a single power-up map. It's only got 1 yellow armor rather than the normal 2. The red and the mega are split either side of the map, and the key positions are generally the lightning gun and rail. But the two teams, I mean, the kind of tactics they employ, how would you describe those?
Well, when 102 are at their best on this map, they simply hold the red, take it, but then they're not content with just that red armor. They just push. Generally with 3 players, and look to take, mercilessly, ruthlessly push, and look to take the mega and the yellow as well. Now, if you want to shut their game down, it's all about making sure they can't make that push from the red. There are choke points that you can use to make sure that you stop them from making that push, but it's easier said than done. You know, they are such an effective team on this map. They work as a team. It's so difficult to overcome them.
Watch out for Pavel's play over the mega health as they try and control the red armor with Immortal stacking up on that one. They'll have Pavel the other side of the map challenging that mega health, using his dueling ability to really time it and play that area on his own. Gets a little bit of support by Fortune often from the rail basement area. Watch out for Immortal grabbing the reds, moving through to the lightning gun position. But I'm interested to see how Sitto counter it. Will they go full out aggression on the red, or will they sit the mega and yellow side?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, but one thing's for sure, they can't either hold red themselves or counter the pushes from red in their time on this map. You know, we've seen just how hard it is to do that though. I mean, Lemmings Effect, they've put in good performances on this map, but in the semi-final they were just completely ran over by Deliberate Murder. There was nothing they could do to stop the constant pushes onto their items, whilst they were totally unable to put any pressure on Deliberate Murder's items.
Deliberate Murder are really well known for being so efficient on this map, so we're going to watch out. See if they can reproduce the potential of previous games.
What I'm hoping for is that, you know, this does stay a close game, because it's going to be tough for Deliberate Murder if their pushes out from the red don't work. So, you know, if Sitto can prevent that, then we're in for a really interesting game on this map.
Now, let's bear in mind, though, Sitto all season have been the power-up controllers extraordinaire, and as a running storyline throughout the season, we've basically seen the team that gets the most power-ups, generally speaking, if not guaranteed, has won every map. And Sitto, their dominance and power-ups is really shown throughout. So, on this map, I mean, we've seen it as a weakness of 102 in past seasons and past matches as well. Could that be their get-out-of-jail-free card? You know, could 102 be really dominant in general map play, but Sitto's power-up play just eliminate any advantage that 102 are going to get?
Well, it is a major point, isn't it? You know, you can play as well as you want outside of power-ups, but if you just have bad power-up after bad power-up, then the other team may still come out victorious, you know, even if you are playing brilliantly the rest of the time. You know, we've seen that happen before.
So Dimitri has joined the server now. He's sporting, what, like an 80 ping. Okay, that's going to be disappointing for him.
That is huge for him. I mean, you think how strong he is generally with the lightning gun, the machine gun, all weapons he's very, very proficient with, but at that 80 ping, that might be a different case entirely.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's a wise choice, sitting Q50 out, who might have lower ping for Dimitri. I know Dimitri's such a key member, and his style isn't really replicated by the other players. But we'll have to wait and see. Here we go. The grand final, ClanBase EuroCup 26. Let's see who's going to win it. Now, following DDK off the start, getting that plasma gun, and, well, a bit of a debate who gets that first red, but nice spawn around the red to control it for Sitto. did miss out on that railgun though. We saw there, nice plasma by DDK. Does get quite out eventually by Fortune, but look at the damage he's done. That really worked out pretty well for him.
This is a very even start for both teams. You can't really say that anyone's taking a huge advantage, but already Immortal perhaps he's going to be in on this second red.
Wow. He just railed from multiple angles. Zyrinx coming out on top, gets himself a railgun now. We know he's a real threat. He's only got 10 health, so that 100 armor won't necessarily help him. Picks up the 50 bubble of health, now up to 60, but here it comes, the damage dealer extraordinaire, railing in towards that quad area. We don't know the first timer quad, of course. Could be after 30 seconds, end of the minute. They're all trying to prepare for it now. That's such expert work by Zyrinx. Look at that, takes out 3 players in quick succession.
He's really earned this position for his team. They should have this first quad.
They're debating who gets it. Chris is going to grab this one. If there was a more experienced on the player in Quake TDM, I don't know who it would be. He has a lightning gun to his name, expert weapon to take out the frags here. They're now just a frag ahead, trying to build this up. Being very cautious around the corners, of course. He doesn't have any extra armor or health to his name, but now he does. That mega health, bringing up towards 200 health. Nice rail shot, picks up his second frag on this quadrant. He's only got 4 seconds left with it, though. Does 3 times the damage of normal, only for that 30 seconds, and finished off that run. Nice frag on Immortal and Ickheads, in fact.
Yeah, this has worked out really nicely because he didn't take the previous red, but his team did, so he's perhaps just going to be able to sit here. It's not really much of a chance for 102 to challenge Krista at the moment with the weapons he has. He has every weapon, Diz.
I'll tell you what, Krista is a big game player as well. He really pulls it out for the big games, and we're beginning to start to see, you know, his experience coming straight away from the bat. I mean, he was with that quad, he did an efficient job, it was objective based, he moved into the red armor area to control that, he's picked up the red armor, now he's pressuring over the mega health and supporting it the railgun basement. Here we are, 2 of them in here, picks up 1 frag, second frag.
Yeah, nothing that Deliberate Murder can do about that. They're just out-weaponed at the moment, I feel.
He hasn't really lost any of his armor either. Picks up the green armor, that's worth 25 armor points. With 35 seconds before the quad as well for. Already turning around, of course quad spawns every 2 minutes, or after you've picked it 2 minutes later. Nice rail and Immortal just trying to dive around there, and they're in a bit of a hole at the moment, 102 I think. They can't quite get the grip on the
Look at
map.
this from Pavel. He is completely crippled, Chris. He was fully stacked, and now he has nothing. That's a terrible blow for him, just leading up to this quad.
Yeah, and look at that. Fortune picks up the frag. Looks like 102 have really focused on the power-ups. On this occasion, you can see 3 of their players in close proximity to it. Going to be an easy frag on Dimitri. Sitto can't challenge for this.
Yeah, there's nothing they could have done.
That key frag on Chris at that time, or damage they dealt, was so important. The red armor picked up by Immortal. Now he's a real threat. Great rocket defense. Pushes him back. Can't go down the corridor. That was
Zyrinx.
Massive, that was. He couldn't push through and has to take a longer route around the upper area. Wasting, what, 10 seconds of quad time potentially, but he picks up 2 quick frags there. DDK the second for his excellent award.
Yeah, I mean, despite Zyrinx pushing him back at the point he wanted to push into this lightning gun area, he still actually did a pretty good quad run.
Expert rockets by superstar Zyrinx, and now he's going to pick up this lightning gun off the spawn. The rest of his team, all the rail basement area across the other side of the map, we can see their team icons through the wall there, the little yellow triangles. It's only a 1 frag game though, for how close could it be already? Rinse and repeat from last season, eh?
Yeah, it's very important as well, but you see the area Zyrinx is working in there around the lightning gun. I mean, he's moved away now, but that area was so key. They have to stop Deliberate Murder from being able to push out towards the lightning gun.
Looks like they might be mounting an attack on the red, judging by Zyrinx's position. He's just going to catch some periphery damage. That's the way Zyrinx plays, actually. He gets his weapons and armor, and then he'll be trying to deal out damage on the peripheries of the battle. Not really the key zone areas. He goes in aggressive on Immortal here. Lightning gun picks up the frag. He lost his extra health and armor, but doesn't matter too much when you get the frag. He just runs into danger there, though. 2 players.
Yeah, I mean, it was possibly called that they wanted to attack red. It was coming up, but it certainly didn't work that time for Sitto.
Nice bit of machine gun, and then the railgun do serious damage there from Fortune. So we follow him. They're now 2 frags up, 102. It's 15 seconds before this next quad on the map. This could be a vital point for either team to try and start building up a lead. He catches out Fortune on the bounce pad. Krista there comes out of nowhere by the looks of things. 102, great rocket defense by Ickheads. He's only got 9 health.
Yeah, that was a huge kill. It allows his teammate to come in and pick up the weapons.
And there we go, Immortal. He's absolutely stacked. Had also 100 armor. He had a mega health to his name as well. He's got lightning gun. He can go really aggressive here. He doesn't need to worry too much because of the frags and Sitto. They're all going to be fresh spawners.
I don't know, I think there might still be some alive with weapons, so he has to be slightly careful, but he's heard them.
Here we go, he's going to catch one of them out. Chrissy hit a heavy shotgun on him, actually. But 2 quick frags there. On board for 102. Is this the time they're going to get into that dominant period of play where they control the whole map?
It's certainly a crucial time for Sitto now because most of their team went down, if not all of them. So how they react now will determine what happens, you know, in terms of scoreline. Because if they don't regroup and stop the pushes from deliberate murder, then they could find themselves 20 or 30 frags behind in no time.
Just trying to do a little bit of damage. He was more worried about the attack on the red. Dimitri did so much lightning gun damage there. Zyrink's trying to rush in after him, but 2 players there securing that red armor. Really good defensive play over that item. You don't see that as often.
Slipping though. I mean, we should switch to Pavel, I think, because he seems, well, he's actually just gone down, but I don't know how many kills he picked up. It looks like he picked up 4 or 5 kills on the other side of the map from what we were watching.
But that is the key play we talked about on the map. Pavel, when he's able to rush out, take control of that Mega, it just leaves nothing for their opponents when they control the red.
Yeah, and that's exactly the entire game for Sitto, is to stop that happening. You know, the game will stay close if they can just prevent Pavel from moving out and doing that.
It's a 19 frag deficit, I mean, 20 frags now, and it's leading up to the next quad damage. 25 seconds time, and following Immortal, I mean, he's not really pressured on any front, and Sitto surely can't have any strong players with quarter time out. Immortal, let's have a look at the scoreboard.
I don't know how well we could see it from Immortal's point of view, but while he's unpressured, the 3 of his teammates are just putting pressure on at the Mega, and at the moment it's actually causing severe issues for Sitto. You know, they have given up so many frags in this last couple of minutes. We're up to a 22 frag difference from what was a tied game, and you know, the entire game, as I say, is about, can they stop that pattern of play where, you know, Immortal holds and then the 3 other players, they go aggressive.
Immortal plus 14 net, 3.6k damage. Look at Dimitri, a minus 19 net. That means he's died 19 more times than he's got kills. So that's not a positive to your scoreline at the moment, and that is pretty much the whole difference between the 2 teams. So he's really going to have to pick up his game a bit. Of course, it's not as simple as
3, 2,
whose net
1,
decides the outcome, but minus 19 is pretty high for this early on.
It is. He is the player with the unfortunately high ping, well, higher than what he's used to at least.
That's quite a big rail by Dimitri on Immortal, just weakens him, misses the next 2 rails though, and gives away a railgun.
Yeah, that'll be a serious bonus.
Oh, look at this! Chris are just rushing in behind them. He managed to pick up 1 frag. That was a big mistake by 102. What were they doing there? They had it locked.
I couldn't believe it. Chris just came in like a flash of lightning and he just stole that quad away. No one reacted.
Seemed to jump out of nowhere. Following Dimitri now with the shotgun. They're making a push on this red armor. They take out Pavel, who did grab that red armor. But that's a positive, but it's not necessarily good, the fact that the red's already been taken. Armor spawn every 25 seconds, so you're going to be waiting 25 seconds for the red armor. The area you've just won over, it's key item to spawn in again.
It's certainly a positive though, because they had to get this score rate under control.
Wow, that's a great attack. 2 players there pushing in on that mega health. Zyrink's going to Ickheads, picks up the plasma kill. He's not quite performing as perhaps we expect Zyrink's to do, but it's going to be harder against the top team. Nice frag with the plasma there as well. Good plasma damage. Highest damage per second of any weapon, the plasma. It's just so difficult to use. DDK going to catch out Fortune here. Clean kill.
It was. Fortune perhaps had the opportunity to switch away rather than look for the second railgun shot.
DDK trying to rush in, pick up the frag. He hasn't got enough lightning gun ammo to go aggressive, otherwise he would have easily got the kill there. Needs to hit these rails though, does miss that one. And this is not what you want to be doing. You've got to hit these rails, be really efficient this side, otherwise it gives people like Ickens a chance to come in and rail at people who aren't watching him. 25 seconds though before this quad, and Sitto got a couple of people there already, so they got position, but have they got the items? Have they got the armor? Have they got the health? Have they got the weapons? I think DDK doing a good job here, just kind of disrupting the movement of 102 in, losing their focus on this quad room. 10 seconds to go before the quad. Worked out well, delaying them, and now Chris is in position with a railgun. Dimitri in support. Oh, look at this. Good rush up the bounce pad, in high at the same time. Can they grab this quad away? They do. Ickens grabs it. He's down instantly. But a good last second steal there, away from the clutches of Sitto.
There's a great fight by both teams over that quad. Neither wanted to give it up, and It was such a close fight. It could have come away clean had they just, had a bit more time to secure the room. Good attacks by both teams, though.
Score is closing in, Vor.
It is. It was all about turning around that momentum that Deliberate Murder had, and they managed to do that.
Impressive.
Following Pavel now, he is your superstar chosen player for 102. Trying to move out to the mega outside of the map now. They need to deal with him ASAP. Looks like they are going aggressive on him, but look at the damage he's done. He's picked up 2 frags straight away. Zyrink's left with 5 health. That's as good as 3.
Yeah, and Pavel's doing that with like an 80 ping, so that's mightily impressive.
Pavel, of course, many people know him from his dueling exploits in the regular weekly cups. I mean, he's very successful dueler online. Fortune pushing out with the plasma. They pick up 2 quick kills. They've built it up to 20 frag margin again. Sitto kind of in that position where they started to bring it back, but 102 just lay the smackdown suddenly. And
this is what they're the best at doing. I mean, that push from Ikeds and Immortal, that is just perfect teamwork. They push out, they make multiple frags. Only one of them has gone down. They're both dead eventually, but the net gain for their team is a positive one.
And meanwhile, the rest of their team's stacking up on the red armors and getting ready for the next power-up spawn. We're into the second half of this first map of the grand finals here. 25 seconds to go before the next quad. Big fight over this one. Both teams are really switched on to when the power-ups are today. Grissa picking up a nice frag there. He did have a bit of extra health to his name, but it's not going to be enough to survive to Iked's shotgun. He's only left with 11 health.
He's still very vulnerable in this position. It's certainly not secure.
Well, they need to kill him, though. Quad's coming up any second. Oh, my God, the damage he dealt out there with only 11 health was really significant. But, key mistake, dropped the lightning gun. 2 Zyrinks. And now, the Italian player has the quad. Lightning gun in hand. Moving out. He's got a railgun. He's got a rocket as well. Hasn't got too much ammo with the rockets, but Red Arm's going to be up any second. He's already got 40 armor to his name. Ammo crate for lightning gun moves through. Should be an easy kill. And the Mega going to pick up another potentially at this railgun. He misses the shot though. Takes a rail.
Yeah, brilliant defensive rail. That just totally kills the momentum of this quad. No way he could have continued to chase.
And it ends up clearing up the Mega side of the map, but the Mega didn't spawn. They didn't get the yellow armor until now. Red armor's up this second. They need to really take this to gain an advantage from that power run. They do grab it though. Zyrink's in his hands. He needs to make use of this, and normally he does. Fortune instantly taken out with that lightning gun. Could do with this ammo crate. Adds another 50. And pushing out into a dangerous position. He's out of position at the moment by anybody above him, but he's worked his way around really well. And 102 on the back foot here, Vor.
Yeah, this is exactly what Sitto need to do. They're taking full advantage. They've got the item advantage and the weapon advantage at the moment, and they are making good use of it.
But they dropped that red.
Oh, look at
they
that.
Knew when it was up.
I mean, it's the moment they realise they're at a disadvantage, you see totally grouped up as a team, 102 at the red armour, and they countered the push back in.
Yeah, you've got to have a real focus when you're down to just group together and use just the mass force of even just your spawn weapon, the machine gun. Do serious damage if there's 4 of you there. You'll kill anybody pretty much within a couple of seconds. So you need to do that. Fortune is way across away from any action. Going to cycle around a little bit. We're back on Grissa. 15 seconds to go, but Quad, he's hitting some insane stats for. He's hitting 69% rel. I mean, we say 50 is good, That's the kind of average that you'd be wanting to hit. 69% is pretty insane. Dimitri avenging his death, though. And here's the quad just sitting on its spot. They're waiting for somebody to decide to get it. Dimitri does eventually grab it. He's only got 34 health. Is the 50 damage up? Beltable up? No, it isn't.
Easy kill for Fortune there.
Very easy. I mean, he didn't really have to rush there. He could have waited for teammates to move in and take that exit damage. But the fact of the matter is, 102 did not really challenge that quad. And on the scoreboard, I'd imagine it'd say that Sitto got a few more quads, maybe. Let's have a look.
It's very even on the
Quad
time.
to 3. The quad damages, and that's what we discussed at the start of the map. That is their get out, because they're not as strong as 102 on this map tactically. So they just need to keep it, relatively close. It's 27 frag margin between the two at the moment. It's a little bit large. They need to bring that back a bit, but power-ups is their opportunity.
It is, and they haven't had a clear-cut opportunity to turn this game around with them yet. They've had some decent runs, but we go back to that Zyrink's run a few minutes ago, and he only managed to find 1 frag on it because he was very effectively evaded by Deliberate Murder. And And that's something they're very good at on this map. If they don't get power up, they're often very good at
What a
countering.
rocket by Chriso as we follow him. Just defensive up in the air. Couldn't even see the player, just predicted it perfectly. Yeah, very heavy rocket there, gets like a second frag, a third frag, the railgun out of it as well. Railgun, well, like every weapon spawns 30 seconds after you've picked it up, so I think both teams saw that pick. They should know the time of it. There could be a challenge over that next rail. It's going to be just before the power-ups in 25 seconds is that quad.
Time to think about getting there. You need to be in position. Well, oh, he does take out Fortune effectively, but now he has the nice position to use his rail defensively.
Yeah, they're in a very good position actually in terms of the players, and they have weapons to utilise. But do they have any armour for the run? It's in 11 seconds time. Will it survive it out at this time of the room? Look at that, Immortal 7k damage plus 12 net on the scoreboard there. Minus 30 net for Dimitri. He will not be happy about that, only dealing out 4.3k damage. The ping, I think that's the big issue for him.
Yeah, it's massively different to what he's used to. It's going to have a significant effect on his game.
Items tell an interesting story. 19 reds to 15 in terms of 102. We've seen better control of the red from them, but it's not a massive difference. Equal on megas. Green armor's basically equal. I mean, there's only a 2 difference in the yellows. It's really even across the board.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are playing very similar strategies, but it's just 102's tactics. You know, they're far more effective.
They're very good at mopping up kills when they're on top. They know the routes to take. They know the positions.
There's a more of a ruthless efficiency to their game when they're in control than we're seeing from Sitto.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for this time. I'm not really sure what it's for, specifically. But looks like we're timing in. I'm ready for this squad. In 11 seconds time, we follow Krisa, who's hitting some insane stats still. 37% lightning gun. That's a very high percentage.
That's 73 rail with 8 impressives.
Wow. There we go. The quad is picked up by Superstar Quadman, though. Zyrinx, let's see if he can pull something out of the bag here. 21 frags is the difference. That's not too much to come back with 3 quads remaining. You know, it's possible in that sense, especially for a team like Sitto. They haven't even dropped a map yet in this tournament, remember?
But interestingly, they're 2 frags down already on this quad. 4 frags down now on this quad run.
And we haven't seen him meet anybody Zyrinx yet. The rest of his team just got a bit too overzealous and just rushing in ahead of him.
So that quad run, the net on that quad run is -3 this. So that's an example of the quad not actually counting for much on every occasion.
Pavel just schooling Zyrinx there. Great bit of dodging. Because normally we talk about Zyrinx, how efficient he is with the frags. He just couldn't take out Pavel there. Instead it's role reversal. And Pavel taking him out, although the revenge kill quick off the bat. But even so, in that fight there, more Sitto players going down, and Immortal is the one on top. He got control of the lightning gun. He's going to grab the yellow, while I'm sure they're in control of the reds as well. So
certainly are in this area here. This is where they need to be countering him, and that rail has forced him back, but it's the danger of letting him get into that position in the first place. They really need to be, I think, more aggressive on that corner from red to lightning gun.
yeah, I mean, we saw that rail, he's pushed him back. That's all he needs to do for the whole match. We saw Lowfly do that very effectively against 102 in the group stages.
Yeah, they always had a railer, and they always had people putting pressure on that corner. It was never an option, really, for Immortal to push out effectively.
Immortal just taking a bit of damage in the back there from his freshly picked red armour. Look at this, Dimitri's done a lot of damage leading up to the power-ups as well. That's not going to be ideal. I mean, the red armour, we can see on the left-hand side the timers, which the players did not see, let's remember. Red armour spawns the same time as the quad, so no one's going to be there with a big amount of armour. Zyrinx does have the mega health, though. We see from his health count. Quad up any second. He does get fragged, though. Immortal coming out with the grab. That's enough, though. That's all they need to do. Make sure they grab that, and 25 frags the margin. We've only got 1 quad left. Just over 2.5 minutes remain. Is it possible, Will?
Well, I think it's close to impossible. They really needed that quad. That quad, for me, kind of sealed this first map for deliberate murder.
This is a best of 5, remember. So we're going to get 3 maps no matter what. Last season, though, interestingly, this was the deciding map. 102 decimated Sitto on the final map on this one after 4 very close maps. So we can see that Sitto have already improved. I mean, it's been, you know, relatively close, bar a few periods of domination by 102.
Yeah, but those are the important moments. You know, 102, they really took advantage when they had the opportunity, and that's what created this score gap.
Pavel hitting 39% lightning gun. It's really high statistic there. You know, if we talk about it at the upper level, just in EuroCup, would say, you know, 32% LG maybe, if you're happy with 35 perhaps. Every percentage point above that though gets exponentially harder to get, especially when you're a really aggressive player like Pavel.
Especially when you have his ping as well.
That's a very good point.
Although the tracking isn't so hard, but the initial lock on it, his ping, is quite a problem.
Especially when you're meeting the caliber of players such as Sitto.
Yeah, that first hit in many fights decides it at this level.
So Pavel sporting 160 odd health, 80 armor, rocket launcher, railgun to use, building up to quad. 15 seconds time that will spawn, and it looks like they're going to lock this down, this final quad of this first map Vor.
It's going to take something special to get in on this quad. I don't think Sitto will even try.
It's even built up to almost 40 frags the margin, which is not really reflective, I would say, but
I think it's fair though.
It's fair, yeah.
Sitto made a very good start to this map, but 102 did quickly turn that around.
Pavel picks up the second frag, but just machine gunned down there by DDK, who picks up the drop rail. Second impressive for him. Out of nowhere, DDK hitting every rail. He'll be regretting he couldn't do that earlier on in the map. But it seems like everybody's hitting their rails at the moment.
Well, you'd expect them to.
Just 10 seconds remain on this first map. And Dimitri just disconnecting. Not too happy about the first round result. Let's just go to the stats quickly.
More even than we're used to, perhaps, on the item pickup stats for a game containing deliberate murder on this map. They do have their red advantage, of course, but we're used to seeing them have an advantage on more than just for red, but very close on all other item pickups. Very, very close, all within 1 of each other.